Well, hey, everybody, it's Behind the Sermon with Sean and Steve. And Pastor Steve, you just preached a lot on the devil. Your base text was Ephesians 6, but we were just getting into putting on the armor of God. And there's just so much you could talk about. Was there anything that got left out of this one?
Yeah, so thank you. There's actually a thing I kind of wanted to preach, but I didn't think it really fit a sermon much. So it's coming here instead. And that is, there's a lot of preaching in our day. Guys like, I'm thinking of guys like Stephen Furtick and T.D. Jakes, kind of Furtick's mentor, one of his favorite preachers. And you hear them and others. I heard a guy local. I listened to a local church this week, and I was disappointed this guy was doing it. So they'll preach about the adversary, and they'll preach about the enemy. But it's an undefined adversary, and it's an undefined enemy. So you're left to define your enemy any way you want to. Like, my enemy might be that other person I work with. My enemy might be my old car. My enemy might be I'm trying hard to get the raise and they're not giving me the raise. That's my adversary. That's the enemy. And then what they preach about is, they also use these terms a lot. So they're preaching to you about fulfilling your purpose and realizing your destiny. So you get a whole lot of that. The adversary, the enemy, your purpose, your destiny, blah, 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 week in, week out, rinse and repeat, different little things, topics that go with it and so on. But there's a ton of this our day, and if anything, it's probably getting more popular. So I would just rather people, if they're going to preach about the adversary, let's identify him. Right. He's the devil. He is our ancient foe who seeks to work us woe. So I was delighted today to get to actually preach about that adversary, define that adversary, and not fall into I'm one of the destiny, purpose, your adversary, your enemy, preacher guys. Part of the sermon today, Sean, was about that you would be able to stand in the definite article is there, in the evil day. So what is the evil day? And that's a day of unusually fierce temptation. That's when the fiery darts are flying and the devil's really after you that day. So I was really struck by a number of people who came up and talked to me after the service, after the second service especially, and wanting to tell me about, Pastor, that gave me a way to understand what happened on that day. They started telling me about their evil day, or their many evil days, the evil day that they've had. So it was really touching to see how many people felt like, I've had a ton of evil days, and now I have a way to categorize them. Now I have a way to understand.
Script biblically.
Yeah, biblically. I can point to Ephesians 6 and say, so that's what that was. So that was very gratifying.
I think a lot of people get confused that the day that's in that verse could be like the last day, but that's
how
not
some interpreters put it.
That's not what that means.
No.
Yeah.
But we're in an evil day right now because we're out of time. Thanks, Sean.